Now, for months, if not years, charities have been warning about the devastation that Islamic State militants have been bringing to areas that they control. Tonight, we brought you the story of the Syrian town of al-Shaddadi, where the consequences are clear to see. Well, we're joined now by Abdulaziz Almashi, co-founder of the Syria Solidarity Campaign and Solidarity with Refugees, a Syrian refugee himself. Thanks very much for joining us tonight. The Alex Crawford report clearly indicated that there'd been a huge aerial bombardment which had probably put the militants on the run. Is it possible that an operation could also clear Raqqa, their headquarters? Reports suggest maybe they're digging in for a last stand there.
Well, the question mark is ISIS. Yes, they have shrinked in some areas from northern Syria, but they made some advances, for example, in the southern of Aleppo. And how long have been this area campaign going on? It's been more than 1 year and 3 months now, I believe. And the coalition actually failed to liberate like major or big cities so far. And to be fair, like the people the Syrian people, like the people on Raqqa, the people on Manbij and other cities, are paying the price because. You know, those militants are literally living within the cities, taking the people as human shields, and you know, when you bomb from the sky, there will be casualty among civilians.
Yeah. And IS are quite adept at being fluid, as you say, moving to avoid the airstrikes and the various forces that are against them. What do you believe the chances are that Daesh will be defeated, as many on the ground are saying now? If they're going to be penned in that area, Raqqa is a possibility.
I don't think so. I believe the only way to defeat ISIS is to get rid of Assad. Because in Syria, if you look at the Syrian opposition, the Syrian people, the priority is to fight Assad. Because Assad killed at least like 20,000 times as ISIS did. So basically the Syrian people given priority to fight the cause of the problem. And ISIS in Syria actually is the symptoms of a disease called Assad. Yeah. So basically, and the only people who can defeat ISIS, not the coalition, nobody else, are the Syrian people, the locals. So the international community should back up the Syrian opposition to get rid of Assad and ultimately get rid of ISIS.
You have a problem, though, obviously, that Russia seems to be taking on every opposition force and indicating they believe them to be a part of Islamic State.
Absolutely. I mean, we do believe there is a connection between ISIS and Assad. And if you...
Well, I mean, just on that point, I mean, these pictures that Alex and her team filmed here, I mean, some of the weapons we found had stamps saying Latakia, appearing to come from Syrian government stockpiles. I mean, obviously they could be looted, but you believe there is a possibility that Assad's government is supplying IS militants?
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised, to be fair, to see these photos, because if you look at the history of the conflict between ISIS and Assad, there hasn't been a really confrontation between them. They have confronted each other twice, one in the airport of Tabqa, and we believe it was like handed over to ISIS when Assad he moved away from the area, and the second time when Assad handed over Palmyra city to ISIS as well, and recently a defector from the Syrian army, he made it clear. He said, we received instructions to leave Palmyra and give it to ISIS.
What would he achieve by that? Is it that he would then see them as tying up, if you like, all the other Syrian opposition forces?
Absolutely. I mean, ISIS is the stab on the back of the Syrian revolution. When the Syrian opposition, the Free Syrian Army, sees the eastern and northern parts of Syria where the oil is, what happened was ISIS came out. What ISIS did, they literally drove. They have driven the Syrian opposition from these areas. They took control of the oil, and now they are selling oil to Assad. Right. So basically, ISIS is supplying Assad with oil. This is a reality.
Last thought for you. Latest we're getting from Washington. They say that the 2-week-old ceasefire is largely holding, even though there are various specific violations. What do you believe will be the chance of that bringing some kind of diplomatic breakthrough to actually end the civil war?
Well, to be fair, I am not really optimistic, because The conflict will enter its 6th year next week, and we have really bad experience in the political dialogue. I mean, if you look at Assad, the way he talks, he said literally like 2 weeks ago, he said his attention is to retake Syria entirely. So basically, he's talking about, okay, he will crush terrorists, and he is painting all the opposition. He's labeling them as terrorists, and that's what the Russians are doing. The Russians are saying they are there to fight terrorism, but in fact they are targeting the areas which is controlled by the opposition, who are fundamentally fighting ISIS. So there is a massive hypocrisy in what's called the fight against the Islamic State.
Abdulaziz Almashi, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on Sky News. Thanks for your time.